my agency was so organic. Like it was a case of like I was building my personal brand around being a recruitment marketeer and putting out all the tips about that. And then all of a sudden had 12,000 followers and people were like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, instead of me just replying to the DMs about how I did this, I'll just start telling people as posts because I can't be asked to message back 100 people, just fucking share it online.
Yeah.
So, and then that kind of pivoted my entire brand to be about, not about recruitment marketing, but to be about personal branding.
Yes.
So I went from having 12,000 followers to 70,000 followers in like 20 months, I think I've done it. So, which it sounds like a long time for people, but if you've ever tried to grow on social media, you know that's pretty strong.
Especially now.
Yeah, all organic. I've never paid for a single post ever. No sponsored, nothing. Everything is organic. But I do think that like some of the best businesses, period, are that way. They are businesses that solve problems that either the founder has or the other people around the founder has. And you're like, hang on a minute, like I can do that for you. I can help you with that thing.
Yeah.
So like, what was that light bulb moment for you? Like you've mentioned kind of that moment a few times, but like, what was the moment you were like, this is no longer, without being like disrespectful, this is no longer just photography. This is actually brand building. Because that's what your business, we'll get onto your exit in a minute, but like that is what your business now does, is build brands.
I think the real light bulb moment was when I kind of saw, Tyrone Mings, who's someone who's a good friend and I've done a lot of stuff with him in the past. And he supported me from the very beginning. And it's crazy now that I see him like playing for England and all the rest of it, because it was like, I remember him when he was at Bournemouth and I remember meeting him. And one of the funniest things was I met him. And I think one of the reasons that we worked so well and like that interaction was completely organic was because it was after a Fashion Week event. We then went to the Ship in Wandsworth and he was there with a couple of his mates. And it was a really nice day. It's a fantastic place. Honestly, I owe a lot to the Ship. And we pulled up there. Oh my God, it's fantastic. It was like the best.
Outside by the river.
The food's fantastic. The Ship, if you want to sponsor me, honestly, you know where I am. Because I owe a lot to that place. The roasts are fantastic as well on a Sunday. And we pulled up there. We had it was like the big body S-Class with the chauffeur, like me and 3 friends who'd just been to Fashion Week, done this whole like day. We pulled up and one of my friends knew him. So then we all sat together and we were eating. And I was there and I've actually still got the pictures. I took these incredible pictures of him on my iPhone because I didn't want to get my camera out. And he sat there and we didn't speak, but like I just kept seeing all these people coming over and taking pictures of him. And I didn't know who the hell he was because at the time he was playing for Bournemouth, but he wasn't playing because he had his injury. So he was well known, but at the time I think he only had like 20, maybe 30,000 followers back then. So then I turned around to him, and this is like one of the most embarrassing things I ever said. I said to him, "Are you a rugby player or something?" And he looked at me and he just laughed. And obviously, like looking back at it, there's no way that a guy that's like 6'3" and that slim could ever be a rugby player. But I think he just found it funny in the way that it's like, this guy has no idea who I am and he's just chatting to me like a normal person. When all these people are coming up and taking pictures. Then afterwards, I sent the pictures to him over DM. He followed me. I followed him back. Or maybe I can't remember which way it went. And then he said to me, "Oh, I've got this academy that I'm starting. And it's really successful now. It's like all over the country. It gives like young people the opportunity to like learn to play football with like registered coaches and all the rest of it." So then I remember I hit him and I said, "Look, let's make this happen." I went down to Bath for like 2 days. I spent 2 days with him. And it was then when I kind of realized like this guy's the shit. Like people around there just loved him. Everyone knew him. He was so humble and low key. And I realized that what he was building was such like a big deal. And that was when I sort of realized, I was like, this guy's a footballer, but he's also got this academy. And then he also has his KTM Design, which is his architect company as well, interior design. And I thought, this guy has one face, but he's also got many different faces as well behind him. I need to emulate that with what I've got. And I had a conversation with him. And then at that point, I was like, you know what? Let me release the book. And I released the book with all the body of work that I'd done prior to that. I then put it all together. And that went out, I think, in 2017, I want to say we put that out. That was just after I'd done a really successful series of events with Apple as well, which was nuts. When that happened, we then sort of saw that there was an opportunity to do so much more than just take pictures. Like there was so much that I wasn't tapping into. So it was like loads of conversations that I was having with people, what they thought, how they saw it working. Again, at that point, you know, everyone else is now suddenly starting to jump on a trend of influencers and personal brands and content creators and all this. I then realized, okay, I need to do something else, to do something more. And then that was essentially when it was born. And then from there onwards, I sort of haven't really looked back. It's just grown and grown. I've worked with incredible companies, met some incredible people, met sort of everyone who I ever wanted to, like people who I've like idolized, and even people who I've like watched on TV, like as a kid growing up, having then like met them and then worked with them is nuts. Like that is absolutely nuts. Like Tiny Temper for a lot of us is like a flipping like an icon. And, you know, I've worked with him so many times, and he's a guy who I really rate and love. And, you know, never in a million years would I have ever imagined like being in a position where like he's putting together this brand, what we wear, and I'm helping with that. Or, you know, meeting flipping Ainsley Harriott and growing up and watching him on TV with Ready Steady Cook. Do you know what I mean? It's like you suddenly realize all these people, it's like I grew up watching you, or you being sort of like a face of my childhood, and now like we're in the same room. It's nuts.